one of the things that always happens in Australia, has happened for as long as humans have been here, and even the thousands of years before the thousands of years that humans have been on this continent, bushfires have been part of what happens here. Now, increasingly, there are way too many that are deliberately lit. There are way too many that start because of poor keeping of the bush, power lines and all the rest of it. But lightning strikes, of course, can end up causing many a bushfire, in fact, most bushfires around the country. Well, as we start to move now towards the version of the climate cycle that means we're going to have less rain, it means the expectation is we will have more bushfires. And today, a collection of bosses of the fire services around the country were out there warning everyone that this could be the worst summer yet.
The worst bushfire season in 20 years.
Worst grass fire threat in 2 decades.
Firefighters revealed they're already seeing the warning signs that the landscape is drying out.
A major bushfire danger this summer.
A really rather large portion of the country is having increased risk of significant bushfires this season.
It's almost like they're excited. Now, I don't know why. Now, obviously, forewarned, forearmed, all the rest of it here. But as we know, every single time there's a bushfire, we know the tweets that come from the Greens, we know the conversation about climate change. So there are almost people who want severe bushfires because it proves their point about how Australia needs to do more about dealing with 1% of global emissions. Don't worry about China, we don't even start to measure them till 2030. Fire chiefs explained why they are particularly concerned about this summer today at a meeting in Brisbane.
All of those areas we're quite concerned about. And whilst it's correct, we're not as dry as we were in 2019-20. Some areas in the north and the south on the coastal areas are already starting to experience drought conditions.
Now again, all of that is true. But one thing humans have always been able to do is adapt. And if we know that one climate cycle results in a lot more rain, which means there's not going to be as many fires, we know it's inevitable that there will be a change in the climate cycle. That means with even greater intensity, with even greater ferocity, they may well end up being more bushfires. So here's a question that nobody asked any of those fire chiefs today. Have you done more hazard reduction this winter than you did last winter, or the winter before, or the winter before that? What have you done to purchase new equipment to fight the fires? Will you do what you didn't do in the 2019 fires, which was when a fire was deep in deep bush, you just let it burn? What have we learnt? You see, the media coverage today was all about the warning, but no pressure whatsoever about the preparation. Now, for obvious reasons, the Rural Fire Service, the CFA, or whoever is responsible in your area cannot ultimately kill every fire before it even starts. And I'm not having a go at these people for raising a warning, but what I am saying is where was any information today to tell us that this threat is the worst in 20 years, so our preparation is the best in 20 years? Surprise, surprise, no one was interested in that because it doesn't end up feeding into the politics, which sadly now follows along with natural disasters.